Welcome back, guys. Here we are. Check this out. Bigfoot Bushcraft Firestarters. Stay with me. Alright, guys. Well, here it is, the Bigfoot Bushcraft Firestarters. I've seen these before on other channels, and I thought I wanted to give them a try. So I figured what better time than while we've got a little bit of rain. It's kind of been not too heavy of a rain, you know, kind of sprinkling on and off, but I mean, you can see I've left these out here for a while, and of course the package is soaked, ferro rod's soaked, the tin is soaked, the wood, it's not like sopping soaking wet, so let's do that, okay? And also, while we're waiting, kind of talking about it, get one of these out of here. Maybe jammed them up too tight. Throw that in there. Pull out another one here. So obviously they stay dry inside this tin. Now it's not necessarily waterproof, but I mean it does have a pretty tight seal. And then of course with these you're just going to want to prepare them, you know, about like you would any other fire starter. And these things smell really good. Like they don't smell, you know, like lighter fluid or any kind of accelerant. They smell kind of like a scented wax, which obviously that's what it is. But you're going to do like you would with any other kind of fire starter. You're just going to want to rough it up, kind of. Get those fibers from the center exposed. Okay. And we'll get this going. There we go. And I figured we can just let that one burn. And we'll pull this one out in just a minute and get it going. We'll throw a few little small sticks on it. Which, you know, maybe, I mean, they're damp for certain. They're probably not soaking wet, but those other ones will be soaking wet. Now that'll be enough to get the point across. All right. And this stuff here, of course, I mean, it's wet, you know. Fire starter's wet, it's wet. And we're in the rain and the wind. So, you know, you'll get a real review, no doubt about that. And I will say, Bigfoot Bushcraft did send me these. This is the one right out of the water there. Bigfoot Bushcraft did send me these to show you guys, so try to fling off all the water we can. There's our sopping wet wood. Sopping wet hands. Get out of here. Thing's burning good. Okay, so just, doing like always. Just kind of tearing it up. We'll set that one right there. If I could hit it. Come on now. Well, it's real life, guys. It's how it goes sometimes. You gotta tear them up a little more sometimes. I was hoping I could get by with just the way it was, but evidently I couldn't. Not super fond of this striker either, but I mean, it's adequate. Let's try something else. Yeah, there. Knife works much better than the little striker there. But I mean, like I said, it is adequate. And actually the ferro rod is pretty nice. It's a, a 1/2 inch by probably 3 inch, I don't know, something like that. It's a good ferro rod. So now let's take our sopping wet wood, kind of give that a minute just to get going there. You don't want to put it out. Especially, when you're dealing with wet wood, you kind of gotta take your time just a little bit. And of course, when it's wet and you're cold, you're wanting to get a fire going absolutely as fast as possible, but too fast can be a bad thing. So, and obviously you want to carry more than one of these with you. In case, something does happen, the first one burns up, doesn't light your wood, you can always use another one. So what I'm doing here is I'm just seeing if this will burn long enough to dry out this wet wood and get it burning. I think it'll do it. It's already doing it. It's already burning. Pack her up. A lot of heat coming out of that, believe it or not. And she's still burning under there. Yeah, and I know, I believe, maybe it was like a week ago, we did have another fire starter on here, and this one's absolutely just as good, guys. Same deal, you know, made in the USA by hand, small business, you know. These are the people we need to be supporting. I may have stacked too much on too quick. It's still burning down in there. Yeah, you get several minutes of burn time out of one of these, you know. I didn't time it, but I'd guess it's probably, you know, 6 or 7 minutes at or about. And I mean, I just kind of tore the center up enough to get a strike on it, you know. I mean, the more you can leave intact, I would assume the longer it would burn. We'll just kind of let that thing go and sit here and kind of yak about it a little bit. And you know, the prices here are good too. I was sent a 50 pack of the fire starters there, the 10 and the ferro rod, and the whole shooting match I think come out to be like $40, if I remember correctly, looking on the website. And of course, that's just all the pieces. I mean, you wouldn't have to buy all the pieces, but I'm glad they sent them. I like trying out new stuff, and I like, you know, showing you all new stuff that, you know, maybe you wouldn't try otherwise, you know. So my verdict is, I mean, you can't go wrong with these kinds of things. I mean, the fact of the matter is, of course, you know, if I endorse something, it works. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you different just because somebody sent me something, you know. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the truth behind it. And these work just fine. I mean, you saw that wood setting in that water for a while. I mean, obviously I didn't time it, but a while. And I mean, it's burning. And I probably could have prepped better, you know, and used some fat wood and some other stuff, you know, to have made this a whole lot more effective. But I didn't intend to do that. You know, I wanted it to be this way, you know, to, say, simulate a person that's maybe not real good with the firecraft skills, you know. They drop their fire kit in the creek or whatever, it's in their backpack and it's not in a dry bag, and just it's raining and gets absolutely soaked, and they pull it out needing a fire wet and cold. You know, will it work? And evidently it will. And that's one nice thing about a ferro rod, you know, doesn't matter how wet it gets, it'll still work. You know, whereas a lighter, pretty much of any kind, if it gets wet, I mean, it's not done for, it's not trashed, but you got to get it dried out real good first before you can use it. And if you're in the middle of a heavy downpour, you know, with no shelter, you know, that might be a difficult thing to do. Of course, if you're using my shelter system, that'll only take a couple minutes, but, well, there she goes. But not everybody's using my shelter system yet. Trying to see if we had anything left in there. No, I think we're all burnt up. Oh, no, we're not. There's a piece. I don't know if I can get her resurrected or not here. There's still a lot of heat in there. But you get the idea. I could have babied it just a little bit more and, you know, got it going, but, you know, and did a little more smalls and worked it up right, but the intention was to show that it would work, and it did. It did work. Well, since we did get it to work, what about if we grabbed up this old wet piece of fat wood here and trying to get them right on those coals there. That's why it's hard to beat good old fat wood. But yeah, these things work great. I mean, if you're not using them, you know, in just an absolute worst case scenario, you're not going to have any trouble with these things. I mean, the fire starter itself was submerged and sopping wet, and so was the wood. I mean, that's pretty well worst case scenarios you're going to get, other than, you know, not having smalls or anything like that at all. But all in all, though, I think it's a good product, guys, and definitely worth checking out. And I will pin all the information in the comments below so you guys can check it all out. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, feel free. And appreciate you all for watching. Please subscribe if you wouldn't mind. It would help me out. I'd sure appreciate it. Thanks for watching. This was the Bigfoot Bushcraft Firestarters and ferro rod. You guys have a good one.